My name's Dave. I'm a co-owner of Advanced Chiropractic. We're here in Essex. We offer chiropractic, massage therapy, personal training, and Pilates as well. Both my wife and I left jobs that we weren't particularly happy in. We didn't like the culture, and the feel within them wasn't nice. We wanted to build something that was the opposite of that, something where we could work in and we could be proud of, but also we can have a big team that would enjoy working there. So currently we've got 2 locations. We've got Chelmsford and Malden, both in Essex. Both great clinics, both super busy. We are, I guess you call it family chiropractic or everybody chiropractic, not sport specific. However, we do have a lot of high level athletes, professional athletes, and your classic weekend warriors. I think our youngest patients, we see them down to 5 days old. Our oldest is about 105 years old at the moment. So we've got a fair spread. So we offer chiropractic, massage therapy, and longevity at the moment. Your classic chiropractic needs, back pain, neck pain, hip pain, anything that bends and wiggles, we can make it bend and wiggle a bit better, essentially. If there's any pain in the musculoskeletal system, that's where we step in. With the massage, there's a nice wellness optimization side of things as well, so it can just feel really good. But so from chiropractic, it doesn't have to be about pain. We have a lot of patients that come in for optimization, for feeling better, for maintenance, wellness, whatever you want to stick a label on. We initially started working with Coherent from the payment side of things. We used their payment portal to take our front desk payments. That reduced our costs for card machine suppliers, and then we utilized them for direct debits as well. Creating a central point for payments and direct debits was phenomenal. We used to have 2 different programs working at the same time. Trying to piece together all that info at the end of the month was always an aggravation. So yeah, this brought it all under one roof and one portal, loads easier. From there, we started working with Coherent on different things. Retention's been the most recent one. Reactivation of patients who have fallen off, either because they're out of pain, maybe they forgot to book back in, or they're just waiting for us to contact them. That was a burden on the clinic that we weren't able to necessarily fit in. Those patients ended up falling through the cracks. So we brought Coherent on board from a reactivation point of view. It's working wonders. I think reactivation is a tricky one. It's something which takes time. It's a great thing to do from a front of house perspective if you've got receptionists, but you can't really do those calls in front of people. So you've got these really specific points of time when you're able to call. And so it ends up being quite a burden. Those calls tend to get left to the end of the day, if not the end of the week, if not the end of the month. And quite frankly, let's face it, they probably drop off and don't get done. If someone isn't answering, the front desk team don't have the time to chase them up all the time. So we were losing people who probably would have come back in and reactivated. We just didn't have the time to contact them. And look, this is better than Google, it's better than news. These people know and trust us already. They are our perfect patient avatar because they've already come in and, like I said, know, like, and trust us. So that's enabled us to take that burden off of the front desk team, giving them more time to do what they're good at rather than chasing down patients who haven't been in. We've been going for 3 months now. We've already got more reactivations coming through the door. We've got a better communication with our patients as well. The multi-channel chat, which Coherent uses, is fantastic. We would give them a call, and if we remembered that day, we'd give them a text. This has taken it all off of our hands. The front desk team notice a reduction in their daily activities, and the chiropractic team have noticed an increase in reactivations as well. With Coherent, they're now using WhatsApp, email, text, phone call. They're reaching them on many channels, so it makes it easier for that patient to use whatever they most prefer. We don't have the time for that behind the desk, so I think patients will much prefer it because it's meeting them on their preferred platform where they normally live. In the beginning, Coherent sat us down. We had a great call where we were able to explain our customer journey. We were able to put across our corporate voice, and we were able to explain how we would normally communicate with customers. Gradually over time, we blended and fitted in with Coherent systems so that our voice became their voice. The harder part of customer communication is the consistency. Not everyone can answer the phone all the time, and let's face it, during office hours, a lot of the time they can't answer the phone. There's only so much time we can spend contacting patients from the front desk. We've got patients in front of us, they take the priority. We're looking to shift as much of that customer communication across to Coherent as possible to free up time behind the front desk. What I love is when we come to Coherent with crazy ideas, they love taking them on. They like a challenge. They're working directly with clinics, so they know what we want as well. So they're able to advise as much as what we could do, as much as take on ideas and run with them. In healthcare, sales is a naughty word. We shouldn't be selling, we should be providing healthcare. But let's face it, this is a business. There's mortgages to pay and lights to keep on and people to pay. So I do think that as healthcare practitioners, and therefore as an extension, often the people in-house, so your in-house front desk team, because they see the front end, the face-to-face side of healthcare, and we can't promote sales as much, they also view sales as a bit of a dirty word. If you're not a natural salesperson on the phone as well, it can be very easy to try and skirt those. I would guarantee that in our clinic and other clinics out there, there's been sales calls or recall calls that should have been made, but they got to them put to the back of the list or probably got forgotten and left on the shelf. As well with practitioners, we know that we should be making these calls, but there is a bit of an ick. There's a bit of a about sales and that point of view. We feel like we shouldn't be involved. Great, let's not be involved. Let's outsource that entirely by creating that boundary, that air gap between the practitioners who can then focus on healthcare and the sales side of it. It stops that ick, so it's not going to get dropped anymore. Because let's face it, it probably just wasn't getting done. So by bringing on Coherent from the sales team, we don't have to worry about that internal feeling of, am I being salesy? I'm not being anything. I focus on the healthcare, Coherent focuses on the sales side. This should enable us to take that, you're right, sales mentality is not what the clinicians want to hear, and it's what they shouldn't really be thinking about as they're offering patient care, because there is always a chance that might influence or blend the patient diagnosis or projected care program. So if we can take any kind of sales mentality out of it, we know that we are 100% on our care provision, and our care estimation is purely from a clinical point of view. There is zero monetary bias behind it. At the same time, yeah, the clinicians can focus just on that. They're not having to do phone calls. They're not having to do chase up. To call someone and say, would you like to come back in, can feel a bit icky sometimes. It feels like we want you to come back in from a care point of view. By creating that air gap and that slight difference, the Coherent team can ask the same questions, but they're not as biased. They're seen as an adjacent service. So we're much more likely to have cooperation, if you like, because the patients don't feel like we're just after their money. We're checking to see how they are, and a go-between. And if there are any complaints, if there are any niggles, any frictions, that patient might not have wanted to say it especially not to the practitioner themselves. They just might have had a personal clash. They might not have enjoyed treatment. Might not like how we operate here, but they're not going to want to tell us that face to face. And I completely understand that. I wouldn't either. By utilizing Coherent, we're able to take that step in between, and you're much better placed to be able to say, is there anything that you didn't like? Maybe we could change it. It creates a much easier voice for the patient rather than having to externalize to their practitioner, I didn't like you or the way you treated. We've got a patient in front of us, they say, yes, I want to sign up to care. As they feel better, their motivation is going to drop because they're not going to require care as much because they're not in as much pain. There's not that immediate drive to get fixed. The problem is at the moment, we've got, I think, 6 different softwares, all duct taped together, all fulfilling an individual task. And of course, none of them talk to each other. We're using Coherent to replace those 6 and act as a central point of reference, both for clinicians and for patients as well. That's where the awesome part is. We're no longer the immediate contact point for patients. That central reference point will be. We're no longer the immediate contact point for clinicians. That central point will be. So we're bringing all of these 6 different programs that run independently, different logins, different costs, different tribulations, and we're utilizing that one central hub. This makes it easier for us to get in touch with patients. And probably the most important part, it makes it easier for them to get back in touch with us. As once you add all of those up, that's 6 or 7 different emails. If they don't know which one to email, it was that one that time, they're probably just not going to do it. They'll either head online and press our sponsored link to call us, which costs us money, thank you very much, or they'll probably just not call us because they're not quite sure. They'll search for chiropractor. If someone else has got a better SEO result that day, they might click on the wrong one. They might go somewhere else with an offer. Suddenly you've got a not very sticky patient. We want it to be as easy as possible to get back in touch with us. That's what's going to keep those patients sticky. Often the trouble is we're getting existing patients who may not have been here for a while, so they haven't got our number saved, or we're not in the top 5 of their texts, and they'll search for advanced chiropractic, or they search for chiropractor. They might not even remember we're advanced. And then they'll see my link at the top, hopefully, if my agency's done well, which they click. Of course, that's a paid advertisement. So we're paying for the pleasure of that patient returning through. So not only have we paid for them up front for the first time, we've paid for that marketing second time round again. That skews our numbers. Google thinks it's doing a wonderful job bringing all these new patients into us. But actually, we're just paying for Janice to reactivate or for Tim to change his appointment from 2 to 2:15. Now, that's a cost every time. Not only have we got front desk costs, we've got the physical marketing costs and we're taking budget away from potential new patients. So to have a clear-cut and readily accessible communication route to us or to our third party via the Coherent, that's phenomenal. We'll see front end and back end changes, both in number of patients coming in, but I think we'll see a lot more marketing budget going towards new patients and not being used up by current patients who are just looking for a quick way to get the phone number.